this overview of the carrot family. So the carrot family is a fairly small family when it comes to our scoring system. Now, this is the scoring system for the acres grassland. If you look at the acres low input grassland on peat, there's a few other species as well, but I mainly concentrated just on the grassland scorecard. And you can see there's 6. So there's Angelica, Hogweed, Marsh Pennyworth, Pignut, Valerian and Wild Carrot. I'm going to take you through some of the main characteristics, and as we go through the course, I'll put up some pictures and some more diagrams as to how you might identify some of those species. So the carrot family, quite a big family. There seem to be concentration on the big families. So got the daisies, the pea family, and now the carrot family. So 3,500, 4,000 species, something like that. We only need to know a few species for the acre scoring system. And you can see there on the right-hand side, I've got a picture that I took of a pollinator. So it's a hoverfly on hogweed. And these particular types of plants, these carrot families, can be really important for pollinators. They produce lots of flowers, so extremely good for attracting in lots of pollinators. And the main thing about the carrot family is that they have this thing called an umbel. If you turn it upside down, it looks like an umbrella, so umbel. And just to show you here in a bit more detail, so there's the spokes. So you can see the spokes radiating up from a single point at the end of the stalk that's bearing the flowers. And it just kind of radiates up there and holds the little spokes or umbels of flowers upright. And now to add a little bit more complexity, this is called a compound umbel. So where you have a spoke and then it radiates out and you've got lots of these kind of small pinwheels of flowers radiating out from that. That's called a compound umbel. And most of the carrots that we have look like that. So the angelicas and the hogweeds, they have that kind of appearance to them. So believe it or not, most of the carrot family does look the same. They're very indistinct little flowers. You have to go really up close to have a look at them. But in general, they're white, or you can see it there with the wild carrot, kind of maybe a slightly pink tinge to them. There are 5 petals. You can kind of see there that they're slightly uneven, and they're all held together in this clustered together in this umbel. And they can be quite fragrant actually if you smell them. And the leaves, when you crush them, they can be quite aromatic. And those are also characteristics of the carrot family. And the leaves are very nice in that they're usually quite distinctive. They are very divided and it's called pinnate. So in other words, you start with this leaf stalk and it just starts dividing itself up into small shredded looking bits of leaves. So on the right-hand side here, I have actually cow parsley. So cow parsley wouldn't be one of the indicator species, but it's something that's going to be in flower in May and June. It's a really good one to photograph because it just gets your eye in for particular carrot family characteristics. And on the left-hand side, there's pignut, and pignut is out at the moment. So definitely go and get pignut. And it's got a lovely little delicate flower to it. And it's a beautiful little plant. Another characteristic of the carrot family is that they have this sort of sheath, so that the stalks here will have this sheath at the base, and you'll see it almost like a covering on them. In this case, this is angelic and it's mature plant, so it's almost falling away. Sometimes it's really upright and actually just what's called sheathing the base of the area where 2 pieces of stalk join together. And if you're to break open the stems are usually hollow, and they actually have a fair amount of rigidity for these hollow stems. But a useful thing for that is that if you leave areas of hogweed or angelica, any of those big umbels over winter, insects crawl into them and they make their home there. They overwinter. They're nice and safe environments generally. They can plug them so that the rain doesn't get in them. And you can get quite a lot of overwintering insects taking refuge in those areas. Another thing about the carrot family is, unfortunately, when you're going through keys to identify them, they ask you for both the flower and the fruit. And the fruit is kind of characteristic for each particular species. So it can have what's called striations, so little kind of stripes down it, or it can have notches in it. And these are from hogweed here. And you can see just how many seeds one plant can produce. And they can stay in the seed bank for quite a large length of time, or I should say long length of time. And after even 20, 30 years, even if that plant's not been present for a while, it's still going to be present and viable in the seed bank, so it can grow on. Just to give you some examples of some of the plants you're hopefully going to come across. So this is Angelica. Now the leaves are out at the moment. Go and photograph them. If you do get a chance to see the flower, do have a look at it. It's kind of majestic looking. It's a beautiful plant. It's got the hollow stem. The stem there is actually quite purplish in colour, and you've got the spokes or the compound umbels with the white flowers there. Another one you're likely to come across is hogweed. Now, hogweed can be found in various different types of grasslands, kind of along road edges, abandoned waste ground, old traditional hay meadows, and you can see the sheathing base there, just nice and intact on the hogweed. The leaves to me are quite distinctive. They're kind of robust looking leaves, quite prickly looking in parts actually, and then they've got these wavy edges. Now, it will ask you to look up on the internet giant hogweed so that you don't mistake it for that, because obviously that's not a very nice plant and you don't want to be coming near that or touching that. The hogweed itself, at this time of year, those leaves are out and about and they're relatively easy to identify. And pignut, of course, hopefully you've all found some area where there's pignut, and you can see the delicate little umbel there. And there's at the top of the plant, the leaves almost get more needle-like. Here they kind of look like coriander or parsley or something like that, which is in the same family. And up there they just look a little bit more needle-like. And yarrow is one, I didn't have it on the list because it's in the Grassland on Peat, and I was concentrating mainly on just the Grassland scorecard. But if you come across yarrow, put the leaves in. It's absolutely fine. Now, the flower doesn't come out till a little bit later, maybe kind of just early June, mid-June. But if you do see it, take a picture of the flowers and crush the leaves because it's got a nice aromatic scent to it as well. So your instructions, 3 or 4 plants. Now the carrot family, again, if you find the leaves and the stalk and the flowers haven't come out, don't worry about it. Put in the leaves and the stalk. And the flowers, we'll look at those when we meet in June. So pignut definitely, hogweed and angelica, you'll definitely get the leaves. Yarrow, potentially get the leaves. If you live near the coast, you might be able to head out and see wild carrot. And valerian is, it's a wetland species and it mightn't be that easy to find, so don't worry about that. But the others, give a go and see what you can find for this particular species, or group, family I should say.